Go ahead.
Welcome up to the next exciting Sunday show with my son, Stephen.
That's close enough.
And welcome back to another early morning Sunday show. Brought to you by my mother, 95 years old. Just spent 4 days with her. It was very nice. I mean, she's 95. You hear some of the same stories, but it don't matter. She's 95. She can do whatever. She still lives at home, still drives. So I did most of the driving. She scared me once, and yeah, gets to the grocery store, makes her meals. She's self-sufficient, so she did my opening. So thank you, Mom. I know she does not watch my channel. Okay, well today, there is some cool stuff. We're going to have some garage punk. There's some, I don't know, electronic stuff. There is jazz, blues, early rock and roll, really early rock and roll. And there's some other things that's just hard to describe. So yeah, stick around. But first, here's from the Joslin Art Museum. This was pretty cool. So Joslin Art Museum's in Omaha, Nebraska. They just put on a new edition. I love going there. I just love going to art museums. That's a big deal of mine. So it was enjoyable to see that. I also finally got a Nebraska mug. Go Big Red. Yeah, all right. So yeah, great weekend. It was good to go. After last weekend, obviously I was with Dave, Tice, Richard, and Michael, and did a lot of damage around town and really helped make some people a lot happier as far as record stores and getting rid of a lot of inventory. But it was a great time. We had a fantastic Saturday with everyone. Sunday, Dave and I, we headed out and we saw some additional. We actually took them out sightseeing, hit in their record store, and Monday I think we just kind of recoup. So a really good time. And yeah, fantastic meetups. You saw there's footage. I have more footage I'll do, and also a video of a production plant tour. So this will be really neat. But yeah, that pretty much is it. It was very busy week, and flew home, flew back, and now we're here. So let's show some records, okay? Because there's too much that went on that doesn't matter. All right, but this is really the best album cover ever. I think this came out this is 2024. I wish I had this last year. The Devils. Isn't that just cool? The Devils. Let the world burn down. Now there is something. It is a duel, and the duel comes out of where are they? Naples, Italy. I got near Italian garage punk kind of thing. This is their 5th album, and it's just fuzzed up garage punk. That might be probably the easiest way to say fuzzed up garage punk. On lead vocals, we have Eric Switchblade. Yeah. And then and she also is the drummer. She plays drums. And then we have on guitar, Gianni Blackula. So there they are, man. Great names. Great rock and roll, man. Just great. this is really, really good. I truly enjoyed this. I mean, it begins with Divine is the Illusion, which I will play a sample of that. And it's just a slow burning garage, fuzzy type song. It goes into Killer's Kiss, and I believe I'm going to throw a sample of that out there. And I mean, it's just great garage rock riffage happening within it. Super fuzzy, heavy stomping kind of songs going on. Till Life what's it called? Till Life Do Us Part. Till Life Do Us Part. Another very good song I really liked. It's bluesy. Switchblade, you know, she can really belt out a tune, but this one she quiets it down, and it's actually kind of melodic on there. We have Roar 2, which is just a fuzzed out rocker, really hard hitting. I mean, this album is like a high octane burst of fuzzed out rock and roll with a ton of attitude. I mean, that just says attitude. Fantastic. Just great group. I would buy more from the Devils if I see them. They got the Devils. There was a 1971 Kurt Russell film that was where they got that title, that name from. But Milan, Italy. Italy does it again. We had the Gluts from Italy that I loved, and this one. This easily would have been top 10 last year for me. So fantastic stuff. But now moving on to something completely different. And it's a brand new album. And this, actually, no, it's not. This came out in 2023. Sorry. I think it's 2023. No, brand new, 2025. Brand new. Yeah, I don't know. I think they formed in 2023. That was it. Splitterzelle. It's from Fuzz Club. Portuguese German duel. Another duel I have. I did that thing on duels that, just rock and roll duels. And man, there are so many new groups that are duels. But this is a guitar and drum duel. Again, like the last one. And, I forgot to show you the last one. Oh, man, sometimes you just slip, okay? Woo! That's pretty nice, isn't it? That is pretty good. So let's not cheat you right away here, okay? World Wants to Know. There we have it. It's another type of blue, an aqua blue, and this one has inner sleeve. Okay, now we can actually get back to this whole music thing. So this group, they use a drum machine and to create a lot of the stuff. They use a lot of electronics. So I said the one guy is a guitar and drum. Well, it's actually guitar, drum machine, and tons of electronics. So what you get is kind of a lot of hypnotic loop-based space rock type music. That's what you have happening on here. It really gets trippy. I mean, Golem, the first song, which just starts out with, it gets into this really trippy groove, and there's shoegaze in there. If you listen, there's just kind of a shoegaze feel happening within that. Guitars and drums. What else do we have? I think the self-titled song, Splitterzelle. Do it yourself, okay? Say it however you want. But that song there has guitars and drums, and they're kind of buried underneath this wall of sound. I mean, there's just a lot of happening on there. I mean, I kind of thought John Cage come in there and just start putting in the feedback and the drone and things happening. Truly like that one. There is Resilience, and I'm going to play a sample of that. There's actually kind of some vocals on here, but there's just a lot of sounds. It's kind of that are happening. Soundscapes are going on within that song. This album has cool electronic grooves and just layers and layers of sound. Something really different. Yeah. Would it be my best album of this year? I doubt it. I doubt if it'll make the top 10. Is it something different, something fun? It is. But it's not something that you would just kind of normally put on to relax to, I would have to say. So, self-titled, Splitterzelle. Call it as you want it. VCLT from my buddy Jim Gleason. Out of the great state of Kentucky, we have the Resurrected, Bloated Floaters. And the album actually goes this way. I mean, that has to be one of the best names ever made. This is their self-titled album, and their only album. Came out in 1988. This is really a rocking album with some really crazy lyrics going on. Inside, we have an album. That's always a good way to start. There that is. But there's also this. This is nice. You can see it's very do-it-yourself. I just made that off a copy machine. And there's 3 of them out of Lexington, Kentucky. That's really nice on there. So it's a the album. It's wonderful. I mean, it begins with their self-titled song, Resurrected Floating Floaters. So that's the first song. I'll drop you a sample of that one. But there's some great harmonies in there, and just pushes the song forward, and you got this harmonica going on. It's actually quite enjoyable. Then it goes into American Junkie, which is just a hard rocking with this wall of sound happening on there. Nursing Home for Stars. I mean, how awesome is that? Fast-paced rockabilly. I mean, these guys are flipping around different styles, and that's what that is. I mean, it was a 5-piece band out of Lexington, Kentucky. Obviously never did a whole lot, but this is pretty good stuff. The Truck of Reality was a pretty good one. It had a lot of punk attitude and vibe to it. Part of the lyrics, he goes, got hit by the truck of reality crossing the street. That sucks. Oh well. This is a very short-lived band. Again, they broke up. They did the one album. They broke up. But they're all over. They even have kind of country punk with the Ballad of a Cow Assassin. I mean, that's just the craziness that you get out of this. Fun stuff. Great album. Jim Gleason, Radio Wasteland. I do the podcast with him. We have brackets coming up. We're going to do some our favorite albums in brackets that we're going to let you, the viewer, vote. Should be a lot of fun. But Jim, thank you very much. Excellent album. A lot of fun. The Floated Bloaters. Moving on to jazz. Bill Evans Trio. Been seen by a billion of you. I have not had it. I used to have it on CD. I am not a huge Bill Evans fan. I appreciate him. He was prolific. He kind of had to be prolific because his drug habit. But for a heroin, I mean, he lasted a long time. He really, I think, till about 1980 or in the 80s. But he really put out some good music, and this is considered one of his classics. Portraits in Jazz came out in 1959. Dave Brubeck put out his. Miles Davis put out his. He put out his. And, of course, he was on with the Miles Davis group. On here, he has the bass Scott LaFaro, and the drummer Paul Motian. They're like connected. They have like this sixth sense. They know what's going on. The way they interplay with each other really is incredible. The bass player, Scott LaFaro, he got killed in, I believe it was an auto accident in 61. And Evans went into a year-long downward spiral. He couldn't do anything, couldn't do music or whatever. It affected him so much. It was really, really rough on him. I'm going to play a sample of the song called Autumn Leaves. And there's just this incredible interplay between the piano and the bass and the drums come in. It just kind of blew my mind when I heard that. There's only one original on here. The original song was Periscope. Lasts for 3 minutes. Everything else is covers, but they do really, really good with them. This is very relaxing, complex music. I think that might be the easiest way to say. Again, these guys seem telepathic on the way they did it. Wonderful album. Not the huge Evans fan, but I appreciate him. Such a life. I mean, the guy was prolific on recording live shows. He was that's why you see all these things. I mean, he was just his gigs. He recorded them. And now they just keep coming out. What's Record Store Day found a Bill Evans live set, huh? Moving on, though, to another John Lee Hooker. I got some oldie and goldies here. Record Store Day. Don't Turn Me From Your Door. This came out in 1963. This is a compilation album. The last album was black, by the way, just so you wanted to know if you needed, because I don't think I did that. So, this one here, it's songs from 1953 to 1961. There's none of his hits, none of his big ones are on here. It's a lot of other stuff. It's a little more stripped down. It's kind of a cross between old country blues and I would say urban blues. You have a little bit of each of that in here. Just the slower stripped down songs like You Lost a Good Man would be a good example of that. But then some of the other ones like Pouring Down Rain, it picks up a little bit. Now I'm going to drop you a sample of that song. This is not essential, okay? If you like John Lee Hooker, you want to have this. If you're trying to get into John Lee Hooker, looking to, hey, I want to experiment with him, listen, I probably wouldn't go this route. I don't think it costs that much, so it would be a cheap way to do it. But you know, his hits are really the great stuff. So, okay, album from Record Store Day. It's not when I'm going to play John Lee Hooker. I probably wouldn't pull this. Eventually, if I do a purge, you know, it may go. So.
All right then.
But now another interesting album. All right, this is fun. Spooner. I picked this up last year when I was to Wax Trax. They had a satellite store, and it was with Tice. And I can't remember if he threw this in or if I just saw it and go, this is interesting. But yeah, this group is out of Madison, Wisconsin. it has Butch Vig in it, and also Doug Erickson, who became known as Duke Erickson, who was the guitarist for Garbage, along with Butch Vig being in there with the drummer. Can you believe that? Here they are. Look at that. Look at Butch Vig. How about that? Yeah, there's Erickson. Yeah. These guys started in Wayne, Nebraska. Wayne State. It's a little college in Norfolk, Nebraska. You talk about in the middle of nowhere up in the Sandhills, that is Wayne State. And that's where they began. And then they decided, then they moved to the University of Wisconsin in Madison and did a little bit better. So I just thought, unbelievable, really. I'm not sure if any of them were from Nebraska, but the group's named Spooner. And the album is called Wildest Dreams. And this came out in 1985, and it was their second album. I believe also it was their last album. Duke Erickson, he wrote all of the music on here. He wrote all the songs, and Butch Vig helped. He co-produced this thing. On here, you get some jangly guitars, very much 80s, REM inspired. There's some very nice harmonies. There's songs like This Town's on Fire, and I think that's where I'm going to play you a sample on that. It's just very catchy, very toe-tapping, very enjoyable, kind of an 80s thing. There is some nice harmonicas going on, playing, there was some harmonica, I think, in here. Women Out of Time was one. That was kind of a pretty cool one. Kind of a heartbreaking song, shall we say. So they go the gamut of types of music. It's very interesting, very original. Right, it's 80s. You can tell it's 80s, but just the fact Butch Vig, a really, really young Butch Vig. These guys started in 1974. 74. Vig came in, I think, 3 years, probably around 77, 78. He joined the group. So, and they broke up in 85 after this album. Obviously, didn't do well, and they broke up. Kind of sad, isn't it? Oh, man. Oh, well, old time rock and roll. How old can you go? Well, we can go as old as Chuck Berry, Greatest Hits. And I have 2 more Chuck Berrys here. So this was picked up at the Honey Hole. I don't know if this was part of it or not, but it's in pretty darn good shape. That's a pretty good cover. There is not an inner sleeve on here. The wax on this is pretty clean. It's not bad. Chest, high fidelity. It's mono. Not bad. They had like 4 of these there. I picked the better one. I overpaid for it. It's more than it probably should have, is worth. It wasn't like, oh my God, I lost the bank, or, triple digits, or even, high double. I mean, it really wasn't that expensive, but too much. But this has rock and roll, Roll Over Beethoven, School Days, Johnny B. It just has the hits, okay? It has his main hits. It does not have My Ding-a-ling-a-ling, which is just perfectly fine with me that's not in there. That's the early stuff. But then the other 2 albums, these came out in 1965. He put out both these albums in 65. By 65, Berry was struggling. When he'd had his, lot of things with the law. He always had problems with the law. Taxes, young women, stealing a car at gunpoint. That was before he's made into this. But, he had issues. But he put out both these in 65, trying to get going. Something happening, because he's getting left behind. You think of his music by 65, right? He was influenced by T-Bone Walker, but what really gave him his break in 55, he met Muddy Waters in Chicago. Muddy Waters said, hey, you need to go talk to Leonard Chess. Talk to him. Maybe he'll give you a record deal. And he went in and got a deal, recorded Maybelline, which was basically an adaptation of the country song Ida Road. And away he went. So, but I will talk about this one first. This is Chuck Berry's In London. Again, from 65. These were his 9th and 10th albums, by the way. And this is, this isn't too bad. It starts, well, no, it doesn't start, but After It's Over is a song in here, and it's an instrumental, which is kind of cool to hear from him. You get something like that. And it's a very great blues instrumental. It just shows what he could do with the guitar. It starts with My Little Love Lights, which is, it took the, a favorite Sunday school song, This Little Light of Mine. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. Well, he was My Little Love Lights. That's what he did. So he just took this nice religious song and made it into his own kind of rock and roll thing, which happened all the time. And yeah, it was okay. St. Louis Blues is on here, which is a really hard rocking album. I Want to Be Your Drive. I think that was it? I Want to Be Your Driver. I Want to Be Your Driver. That was just loud and sneering. A really cool song. But what was interesting is that song influenced Bob Dylan's Obviously Five, was it? Obviously Five Believers? Is that it? I might be wrong. From Blonde on Blonde. But if you listen to it, you'll see there is this correlation with that. This was pretty good. I didn't mind this one at all. You know, the first song, you know, with the whatever. So, not bad. Then, Fresh Berries came out that same year. And did I show you that? I don't think I showed you the vinyl. Vinyl on this is really clean. It's just very, very nice shape. Maybe a couple little scuffs, but this thing is super clean off of chest, really nice. And the jacket is pristine. Again, from the Honey Hole. This from the Honey Hole. Look again, very clean, very nice. That's why I bought them. I haven't had this one's a little more scuffed up. I haven't had this thing that I got to have some Chuck Berry. I need to put him into my collection. I know he's important and all that. How often will I listen to him? This was good stuff. This was in great shape. It was hard to say no, to pass up, and I am enjoying it. So isn't that what it's all about? But on here, Fresh Berries, these were songs that he recorded between 64 and 65, and then put it out. You know, I believe it was released in the UK, trying to go after the UK market, but also in the US. One song is different. You have... This is a little different, though. You have the song Run Joe, which has kind of calypso going on. You know, it's like Harry Belafonte. What? I don't know. Let's see, what was there? It Wasn't Me was one. It Wasn't Me, which is a very solid blues song, and that leads it off. And we have Every Day We Rock and Roll. That's going back to his roots. He's trying to bring back the 50s, put it in there. Every Day We Rock and Roll. By now it's running. Basically, it seemed like he was running out of ideas. That's kind of what I get off this. We're struggling and not knowing what to do. So it's good album. Good album. I would definitely listen to this one more. And yeah, and then the greatest hits, which I never go wrong with greatest hits. So Chuck Berry is now in the house. He's now in the collection. My God, next thing you know, I'll show an Elvis album or something. Oh, Jesus.
She didn't want no one else around. She was once my little girlfriend, and I was truly once her man. She was once my little girlfriend, and I was truly once her man. I bought her anything she wanted and laid it right down in her hand. Came over to speak to me. I was out of sight. Wasn't me, baby. Baby, wasn't me. Must have been some other body. Baby, wasn't me. It's a shrewd young whippersnapper, loves to run and play, but the draft board got him, they inducted him today. Wasn't me, son. What's blowing a fuse? My heart beating rhythm and my soul keep a singing the blues. I roll over Beethoven, tell Tchaikovsky the news. I got the rockin' pneumonia, I need a shot of rhythm and blues. I caught the rolling arthritis sitting down at a rhythm review.
All right. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. Back Colorado, the weather's beautiful, and yeah, I can't complain whatsoever. And didn't go to a record store when I was in Omaha. Just nope. Going to wait a while. I got a lot of records to play. So many to show. it'll be a while. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it. Have a great week. Bye.